And inside Penn Hills High School tonight, a rivalry matchup between two schools located just 4 miles apart from one another. It's the undefeated Penn Hills Indians, and it's the one-loss Woodland Hills Wolverines in a Class 6A matchup. This evening, I'm Sean Saputo alongside my broadcast partner tonight, Sean Myers, filling in for Lanny Perteri. And Sean, these two schools I mentioned are just 4 miles apart, a rivalry that goes on many years, but a very lopsided rivalry as of late. Penn Hills, a 21-7 edge over Woodland Hills over the last 14 seasons.
Penn Hills has been terrific under the guidance of Dan DeRose. He's now in his third year. He has made this team back into a powerhouse program. 4 titles for boys basketball in Penn Hills history, but in recent years it hasn't been that good until DeRose came and really has made this team one of the best in the entire 6A classification. Last year, 19 wins. Although a premature exit, they lost in the quarterfinals in an upset loss. This year, they haven't lost at all. 13-0, as you mentioned. They're averaging more than 67 points per game, allowing under 52 points per game, so about plus 15 in terms of that. And they're doing it in large part because of Davon Stevens. He's been their star player now for the last 2 years. He's got some good pieces around him, although one of the stories that we're going to have to follow tonight is a late scratch from the starting lineup. Corey Bolton, who's come back from an ACL injury to be a terrific point guard for this team. He's not in the starting lineup. He may play, he may not. That could be a big absence. But on the other side, the Woodland Hills Wolverines have been resurgent in years as well, as Odell Miller, now in his 5th year, guiding the program, doing a really nice job. This team was an under-the-radar squad in 2016-17, was just 500 in section play, but made a very nice postseason run, reaching the semifinals, ultimately falling to Butler in that round of the playoffs, and they are back better than ever here in 2017-18. Just 1 loss, 10-1 overall, 5-0 in section play, 72 points per game, 2.1 to be exact. That's one of the best marks in the entire district. 57.8 points per game against, so very similar to Penn Hills in terms of about a plus 15 scoring margin, and they have a star player in their own right. It's Amonte Britt, the senior. He's been one of the best in the WPIAL.
20.4 points per game for Amonte Britt. Alongside him, though, Keandre Bowles, nothing to take away from him, averaging all around 20 points per game as well. And you mentioned the resurgences of these teams. Woodland Hills, the semifinal trip last season and the state playoff trip as well last year, hadn't been into the playoffs. Had only been to the playoffs 2 times since 2004. That was back in 2011 and 2012. This game means much more for these two schools, how close they are apart. Penn Hills currently riding a 4-game winning streak in this series, and Woodland Hills' last victory against Penn Hills came on January the 13th, nearly 2 years ago to the day, 86-81 victory over Penn Hills, and have not won on this floor as Woodland Hills since 2012 when it defeated Penn Hills 77-51. Coming up, we have the national anthem, so we'll send it to break. You are listening to 2017 WPIAL basketball, and it's here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Jump ball. Penn Hills in its home white shorts. Woodland Hills in the all-black uniforms. Tip out of bounds off Woodland Hills. The inbounded from the far sideline. Cam Wiley doing the inbound. Davon Stevens, the point guard.
They'll have to adjust the clock here. 15 seconds ticked off. It should have probably been more like 2 seconds. And I loved what Coach Dan DeRose said before the game when we were talking to him, Sean. He said, all bets are off when these teams meet. I don't need to make any motivational speeches. My players are already up for this game. He certainly expected the Wolverine players would be as well.
Chance these two teams to start meeting in football again next year, as both have been placed in the 5A classification in the WPIAL with the restructuring of the football conferences. Stevens takes the inbound pass. Penn Hills going right to left on your radio dial. Stevens heads towards the right wing. Crossover dribble, drives middle lane, kicks out to the left corner. Driving layup from the left hand is good for Miles Yarborough. Points for Yarborough, 2-0 Penn Hills in a full court press. 3-2 press zone for Penn Hills. Breaking the pressure is Woodland Hills on the left wing. Bowles, and now a steal on the cross-court pass by Tyree Spencer. Spencer goes up with the left, misses the layup, followed through by Stevens, no good. Kicks back out to the top of the key with Adams, hands it back off to Stevens, who resets.
That was a great steal by Spencer. Couldn't get the finish, but his teammates there to clean it up.
Spencer in the corner, dishes back inside to Stevens on the right block. Looks to spin around on the dribble, stolen by Britt. And contact on the foul. It will go against Tyree Spencer. It will be Spencer's first foul. Team's first. 7:08 left first quarter. 2-0 Penn Hills.
Talked about Stevens and how he's the standout for the Indians. I had not seen him up close in quite some time. He is so long out there, 6'5", with great wingspan.
Britt with the ball. Looks to dish inside to the right block. Nazir Taylor was the intent pass, but a kickball. Inbound will go underneath the Penn Hills basket on the far baseline. Britt to inbound. Goes to the right wing to Bowles. Left wing. Off the top of the key. Dish inside Taylor to Britt on the right wing. Back inside to Taylor. Right block. Dishes to the left block. Going up and swatted away by Keyshawn Adams as Penn Hills goes for a full court pass. Pressure on the baseline and out of bounds. Turnover for the Indians. It's Cam Wiley trying to make a play. Woodland Hills creates the turnover, 6:45 left.
How about the defense by the Indians underneath? The other way, good job by Penn Hills in the early going, contesting every shot.
Britt gets it to Josie. Now back to Nicholson. Inside, stolen by Stevens. Charges ahead across the timeline at 6.5. Left in the first quarter. Drives right side, kicks right left corner. And an errant pass is going to be stolen by Woodland Hills, and a right-hand layup is no good by Nazir Taylor. Rebounded by Penn Hills. And Spencer pushes ahead. Gets it to Stevens at the top of the key with 6:10 left in the first quarter. 2-0 Indians. Motion around the arc, Adams. Adams hands it off. Back inside for Stevens, playing down in the post, and he is pumped from behind by Olsen Nicholson. Will be Nicholson's first. Woodland Hills' first. 6:04 left in inbound for Penn Hills underneath the Woodland Hills basket.
Expect to see a lot of Stevens in the post.
Wiley inbounds to Stevens, goes up and gets it, hook shot, and that one's off back iron, no good, rebounded by Adams inside, and he is fouled, and will head to the charity stripe for the first foul shot of the evening. Foul goes on Nazir Taylor, his first, team second.
Well, the combination of the 6'6" Adams, 6'5" Stevens are really creating a problem down low for the Wolverines. After Stevens got a good shot that just rattled out. Adams is there to clean it up, and now he's heading to the charity strike.
First shot for Adams is good. 3-0 Penn Hills. Early first quarter. 9:59 remains. Adams, the 6'6" senior forward. His second free throw is nothing but net as well. 2 points for Adams. 4-0 Penn Hills early. Inbound pass off the hands of Keandre Bowles, out of bounds. Pressure applied by Cam Wiley. Penn Hills will take over with an inbound pass on the near sideline.
It'll be right in front of the Wolverines bench where Coach Odell Miller was trying to give the officials the indication that it should stay with the Wolverines. That's not the call, though.
Inbound to Wiley to Stevens now on the right block. Spin move, hook shot, good with the right hand. 2 points for Stevens, 6-0 Penn Hills. 5:45 left in the first quarter. Near turnover on the far sideline, but it's taken by Britt, crosses the timeline to the right corner. Dribbling around is Josie to the right wing, and he is bumped, in a foul called on Cam Wiley. It's his first, team second for Penn Hills. Front iron up the backcourt and in for Cam Wiley, who now has 6. Lead back up to 6 for Penn Hills, 63-57 with 2:23 left fourth quarter. Second free throw for Wiley. Off back iron, rebounded by Nazir Taylor. Britt has it. Back to Josie. Josie. So they tried to be slick with the pass. Nicholson comes up with it, though. Back to Bowles. Bowles looking. Left corner. Britt for 3. Off the side of the iron, no good. Rebounded inside by Adams. Penn Hills retakes possession. 2 minutes left, fourth quarter, leading by 6, 63-57. Holt to Wiley. Wiley with a bounce pass for Stevens. Turns it over. Nicholson has been matched up with Stevens and has limited him since re-entering the game.
And Wiley had no passing angle there, and that is the result of the great defense by Nicholson, who was extending and was right on the hip of Stevens.
Britt doubled up by Wiley and Stevens. Gives it to Josie. 1-3-1 zone for Penn Hills. Britt motions around the arc. It's past Wiley. Drives towards the middle. Goes for the right hand layup, and he hits. 63-59. We're back within 4:20 for Britt. Dribbles falling down is Fulton, and a timeout is called.
So there's a shoe laying on the floor. There's 2 or 3 bodies. I don't know how that's not called. That was something other than a timeout on it.
Fulton was dribbling ahead. There was contact. He fell on the floor, took a roll, and then came.
I think it has
set
to,
up.
I think it either has to be an offensive foul, a blocking foul, or a travel. Instead, it's none of the 3. Penn Hills will take it because the Indians keep possession, although they have to burn a timeout in the process. That's certainly not a big deal with them holding the lead. They want possession of the basketball, and they will have it.
Well, let's take a look at Penn Hills so far by the numbers. For Davon Stevens at the charity stripe 5 times tonight. He's 4 for 5. Corey Fulton has been to the charity stripe 9 times. He's 7 for 9. Cam Wiley is 1 for 2. Deshaun Adams is 4 for 4. Miles Yarbrough is 0 for 2. Now it's your time, if you're Woodland Hills, to think about who to foul. Minute 20 left, 4th quarter. Stevens drives. Probably not the one you want to foul in this situation. It's going to be hard to get the ball in his hands, though. He shoves off on Keandre Bowles and picks up a foul.
That's the right call. And
that is,
he's walking off. I had him for 4 fouls earlier. I don't know if that is his 5th foul or not, but as soon as he committed it, he went to the bench, and now he's not even on the bench. So I think that is his 5th.
That might be his 5th.
Again, I've been keeping track, not to say that I'm an official scorekeeper by any means, but I had him with 4 fouls earlier.
That's a huge foul if that's the case. Now steal. Yarbrough comes up with it. A kick ball kicked ahead by Wiley. Possession stays alive. Yarbrough inside the Fulton. Dribble, drives. He's flying from behind by Bowles. Josie ahead to Britt. Britt, layup, foul, contact. It's going on Adams.
I thought it was good defense by Adams there. I thought he had his hands up, and give credit to Britt for forcing the issue. On the other end, Sean, the Indians rushed the shot. They did not need to. They had a 4-point lead, and by throwing it down low very quickly instead of pulling it back out and running more time off the clock.
Now Amonte Britt goes to the line with 20 points. First free throw. Front iron, no good. Stays 63, 59, 52 and a half seconds left in the 4th quarter. Second free throw. It's good. 21 for Britt. 63-60. Full court press for Woodland Hills. Fulton has it with 50 seconds. Has to get it ahead. Crosses the timeline with 45 left. He's high left wing. Dribbles towards the middle. Back towards the left. Gets it to the right wing. Spencer gives it to Wiley. Wiley back to Fulton. 33 seconds. And he's wrapped and fouled.
Now that is the 19th foul, which means it's a 1-and-1 scenario coming from Fulton. Fulton has hit 5 of his 7 foul shots in this contest.
Fulton to the strike. Makes the first.
That's huge.
15 for Fulton. 8 for 10 from the charity strike. Timeout called by Woodland Hills. Trailing by 4 with 30.4 seconds remaining in this one.
Back to a 2-possession lead for the Indians. And again, we have not gotten official word, but for all intents and purposes, it appears that Stevens is done for the rest of the night. So Fulton's going to be the guy with the basketball in his hand. There's really no doubt about it. And his ability to knock down foul shots will be paramount for Penn Hills to try to close this one out. There's another one coming up after the timeout that could take an 5-point edge. Woodland Hills plenty of time, by the way.
Oh, yes.
They do not need to rush shots. They do not need to start looking just for 3-pointers. They can pretty much run through their traditional offense here. You get a good 2-point shot, take it. If you get a 3-pointer that's open, take it as well. And I would think that Britt will be the player that ultimately has the basketball in his hands when the shot goes up.
One more free throw up and coming for Fulton.
This place is rocking, dude. This game has lived up to the hype.
Fantastic atmosphere at Penn Hills High School. As one more foul shot for Fulton. As we are close to the end of this one, 64-60 the score, but there could still be much, much more to happen in these final 30 seconds. Second free throw is good. So the lead moves to 5. Fulton has 16. Britt to inbound with 30 seconds left. Hands it off to Josie. Josie back to Britt on the far sideline. Dribbles towards the near sideline. Goes for Josie. Throws it out of bounds. Turnover Wolverines. With 23.5 seconds left. It could be about academic from here.
Well, Woodland Hills is going to try to get a steal here. If the Wolverines don't get a steal or force a quick turnover, then they will have to foul. And you probably do not want to foul for Fulton.
And they're going to have to. Fulton's going to go back to the line. He's 9 for 11 from the stripe.
And you were right by saying they're going to have to because they weren't able to deny the entry to Fulton. That's where you really have to make your defensive stop, is not allowing the ball to end up in Fulton's hand whatsoever.
And it's the double bonus. First free throw is good. 17 points for Corey Fulton off the bench.
What a story he is after being injured with an ACL and missing the campaign last year.
Second free throw is good.
Buzzer there.
18 now for Fulton. He's going to stay on the floor as Mason checks in. 20 seconds left. Britt inbounds the ball, pushes it ahead, and out of bounds. Azir Taylor stepped out on the far sideline. Yarborough checks back in. 67-60 the score, with 17.3 seconds left. Inbound to Fulton. Fulton dribbles around. He's hacked one last time to go to the charity strike. Foul goes on Britt. Britt's fourth. Penn Hills.
The flags are flying now for the Indian faithful.
Penn Hills will improve to 14-0 on this season. As Fulton's first free throw is off the front of the iron, no good. His first missed free throw since the second quarter when he missed the pair. And the second free throw. That one's good. 19 for Fulton. Woodland Hills will fall to 10-2, 5-1 in the section. Penn Hills will be 6-0 in the section. Britt, left wing, three-pointer, off the iron. Drives for his rebound. Rebounded by Spencer. And that will do it for this one. Penn Hills keeps the undefeated record alive with a 68-60 win in a thriller against Woodland Hills in Class 6A Section 3 play. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, John will talk to Coach Dan Rose. We'll have our stats and recap for you. The final score, Penn Hills 68, Woodland Hills 60. You're listening to 2017 WPIAL basketball here on the Triple I High School Sports Network. So joining us now on the Triple I High School Sports Network, Davon Stevens. Davon, fantastic game by you this evening. 21 points, spreading out the ball as well, assists, some rebounds in there. Your game in general, I mean, you have the height, you have the long arms, you're able to make shots, alter shots. What about Woodland Hills is different than any other team that you saw this season that maybe gave you a little bit of difficulty at first, but then eased your way in?
They're more athletic than most teams that we play. They're more all over the place like we are. They're just like us.
Now, we just got done talking to your coach, and he said you actually like to brag more about the assists that you get rather than the points that you score. Is that a player that you've always been? You've always wanted to be more of that distributive player rather than...
Actually, whenever Corey Fogle got injured last year, that's what really made me start passing the ball more. Because he always put it in my head, pass the ball, get it the ball around. But I've always been in my head to get the ball around.
Now, do you find it a little difficult or a little different for you, being that you are 6'5", and you are the one that's playing guard as compared to some of your counterparts where you have a very vast size advantage against most of the guards you're going to see throughout the season?
Well, I don't really feel different because, I did it last year with Coach D, so it's like the same for real. So, and this year, I'm doing it better than last year.
What's the difference between last year's team and this year's team? What are the strides your squad has made?
Last year's team, we wasn't that good defensively how we are this year. We're more all over the place. Last year, we'll have some up and downs on defense, and people not stand in front sometimes not. But last year's team, it's like this team, but this team is more all over the place than last year.
What was one piece of your game that you had to work on over the summer to get prepared for this season?
Dribbling.
Now, colleges. College is going to be coming up soon. You're a senior this year. Any offers we're looking at? Any schools interested that maybe haven't offered but have said, well, just, keep doing what you're doing. We might be able to throw one at you.
As of right now, I got an offer from Clarion and Damon College, but I'm waiting to the end of the season to make my decision.
So you're more focused on this right now, getting your team potentially back to a WPIAL champion.
Yes, sir.
All right, and now coming up, your team's going to continue to you have the bullseye on your back now. Is that what you guys want? Is the bullseye on your back? You want to be the team that's being chased? Or do you kind of not like that pressure, you just go out and play?
I just go out and play. We always tell them to stay humble. We don't got to worry about nobody. If we stay together, we're going to win.
All right, Davon. Well, congratulations on a fantastic victory tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming to join and talk to us right now. Davon Stevens, 21 points this evening in tonight's victory against Woodland Hills. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we will have the scoring recap sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine Stay Strong and Play On program, a proud sponsor of the Trib Live High School Sports Network here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Back at Penn Hills High School, final score 68-60. We met with Coach DeRose. We met with a very quiet, humbling, and soft-spoken Davon Stevens. He gave us some notes, and great interview with him just now. But now it's time for the scoring recap, sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, powering the Stay Strong and Play On program here at the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Let's do it. Let's begin with first the visiting Woodland Hills Wolverines. For Woodland Hills, 12 points in the first, 9 in the second, 22 in the third, 17 in the fourth. Leading the way, no surprise, on Monte Britt. Maybe a little surprised that he only had 4 points in the first half, but he finishes the contest with 21 and one of two players in double figures for the Wolverines. The other one, Olsen Nicholson, with 11. Behind that duo, 8 points for Keandre Bowles, 7 points for Jaquan Smith, 5 points for Tremont Josie, 6 points for Clue Wilson, and 2 points for Nazir Taylor to round out the scoring for Woodland Hills. On the other side, the victorious Penn Hills Indians netted 18 in the first, 14 in the second, 15 points in the third, and 21 in the fourth, en route to their 68 points. Leading the way, Davon Stevens, we talked to him, he contributed 21 points. Corey Fulton had a terrific second half as well, finishing with 19 points, including several clutch foul shots down the stretch. Keyshawn Adams also in double figures with 10. Behind him, Miles Yarborough with 8 points, 6 for Cam Wiley, and 2 points apiece for Tyree Spencer and Kyrie Hairston Mitchell to round out the scoring for the victorious Indians.
Penn Hills moves to 14-0 and 6-0 in Class 6A, Section 3, and continues its quest for Penn Hills' first team WPIAL championship since the basketball team won in 2003. And for Woodland Hills, season record now 10-2 and 5-1 in Class 6A, Section 3. One last time from Penn Hills High School, the final score: Penn Hills 68, Woodland Hills 60. For Sean Myers, I am Sean Saputo, wishing you a fantastic evening, everybody. Be safe with the weather conditions that are coming our way. Keep yourself warm, and make sure if you go out, be cautious. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We wish you a great evening.